Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about aging beef parameters. The secret to the great steaks found at the very best steakhouses is that they have the beef aged specifically to their specs. We are going to start talking about what is aging. Aging is a process during which microbes and enzymes act upon the meat to help break down the connective tissue to tenderize the meat. There are two types of aging: wet aging and dry aging. And there are two main reasons why beef is aged. The first one is about taste and flavor. It makes your beef taste even better. And the second one is texture. Your beef becomes much more tender. Let's start talking about dry aging. Dry aging involves a degradation of connective tissue and muscle protein structure of the meat of carcasses or cuts of meat, and it must be managed to ensure growth of beneficial and non-harmful molds. The cuts used in aging are strip loin, rib eye, and sirloin. The process: enzymatic actions and evaporation. When we talk about enzymatic action, are when endogenous proteolytic enzymes from the meat itself, as well as from the specific beneficial molds, weaken the structural myofibrillar proteins in the meat. This takes about 10 to 14 days. Evaporation: loss of water from the meat by evaporation causes concentration of the remaining proteins and increases flavors. We're going to talk about control factors of dry aging. We're going to start with temperature. A storage temperature between -0.5 to 1 Celsius should be used. Relative humidity: a relative humidity of between 75% to 85% is recommended. The airflow recommended, or air velocity, is of 0.2 to 0.5 meters per second. When we talk about antibacterial strategies, is when we use ultraviolet light, UV, for the destruction of bacterial cells. When we talk about cross-contamination, dry aging must not be conducted in chillers where other fresh meat is stored. Here we can observe a fresh beef and a dry aged beef. The main difference is that there is a loss of 50% moisture loss. Here we can observe the process of dry aging. Here is a 3 weeks aged beef in a weight loss of -10%, and here is an aged of 120 days beef with a weight loss of 35%. Now, let's talk about wet aging. The wet aging method works primarily by storing primal cuts of the beef carcass inside closed, vacuum-sealed bags. The process is just enzymatic actions. Endogenous proteolytic enzymes weaken the structural myofibrillar proteins in the meat. This takes 10 to 14 days. Meat is aged in its own blood, and serum, therefore, growth of lactobacilli can result in sour and subtle flavor compared to dry aged meat. What is the result? Tenderness. The control factors is temperature. The temperature must be of 0 to 7.2 Celsius. Here is the difference between wet aged and dry aged. One of the main differences is the color and the moisture. Let's take a look. Here is the fresh meat, here is the dry aged meat, and here's the wet aged meat. The main difference is the color and the moisture, as I told you before. Thank you.